Hello, this video is going to be about the Reiki symbols. I recently did a class for some people and a couple couldn't make the class, so I am now going to cover the Reiki symbols, make it into a video and publish it so the people that weren't at class can view it. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding around the four basic Reiki symbols. In Reiki, there's lots of other symbols that have been added after the four basic symbols of Chokurei, Seiheki, Hansha, Zeze, Shonin, and the Daikomyo. Lots of other symbols have been added, but if you don't understand the four basic symbols, why keep adding information? We have a tendency to do that. We'll study something, we'll think we got it, and we'll move on. But the studying and embodying something takes more than just reading over it. It's about working with it and playing with it. And what I'm going to share are what I've discovered by really looking at the symbols, meditating on them, and sometimes by accident, like what I found with the Seiheki, which I'll be sharing with you, was by accident. Or you can call it accident, I guess. So we're going to go into the four Reiki symbols and using them as a complete healing system just within themselves. I mean, you can spend an hour on somebody just doing the four Reiki symbols and have an immense healing. Or you can use the four symbols on yourself as in meditation, which I also highly recommend. So let's get to it. That's for class. Let's go ahead and tap this. I like to start my classes with an EFT tapping. I chose this particular wording because I'm looking to go beyond my limitations. Whether there's something that I've created within my own mind or were passed on to me by parents, preachers, teachers, peers, I want to get rid of those limitations. I want to free my will, and so that I can move into will mastery. Because if your will isn't free, there's no way in hell you can master it. That's just plain and simple. So tapping over the center of your chest, tapping over the center of the chest, your heart chakra, repeat after me. I choose to see, understand, and move beyond any and all currently perceived or believed limitations of mine or others, whether inherited, learned, accepted, created, or adapted to or with. Just take a nice cleansing breath in and out. The purpose of that tapping is to set your mind to expand. First thing I want to discuss is the mind, heart, and body. As the typical American lives, or not American, the human lives, and probably Americans a little more so to some degree, but the average human lives split. They are completely dissected and cut off from spirit. And we live in heart, mind, and body instead of one unified circle, which is the spirit. So you can see here the blue line is mind. It's close, and the frequency is faster, higher. The heart is kind of middle, and the body slower. But that's a healthy person. The healthy person that we call the healthy human is split at its basics. So the split dualistic being, as long as you are split, disease is inevitable. And what I mean is you can be a super healthy person in mind, heart, and body. You can have these feelings of being balanced and healthy and feeling good. But there's something to go beyond that. Then there's the sick person. The sick person, you can see now that I made the mental line real jagged, it's like there's a discord up there, and that causes imbalance in the other parts of the body. So a diseased mind will manifest physical illness no matter how well you eat and exercise. So what I'm trying to say here is no matter how well you eat and exercise, if your mind, if your consciousness isn't right, you're going to be sick. And if your body is split, even if you're a healthy person, sickness is inevitable because you have not mastered yourself. And then the bottom line, the spiritual being, see how all three lines have become harmonized? So the mind, heart, and body are not separate, they're unified. So as soon as you think something in the mind, it is in the body. As soon as you feel something in the heart, it's in the mind and the body. And when we're not balanced, what happens is the mind, heart, and the body is what the spirit rests upon. It's like the vessel. And when the vessel is weak, we can't support our spirit coming into our body. We're going to go into some Reiki symbols and how we can help align and be more spirited and embodied. So let's get to it. The Reiki symbols. The 8th chakra I want to discuss. The 8th chakra is about 2 feet above the 7th chakra. It's the chakra that we can access spirit through, past lives, the Akashic records, and I believe altered dimensions. It's the one where we start to lose our sense of self. So it's not like the other chakras where we visualize and go into visualization and we're there. Usually going through the 8th chakra, you get more in touch with the spiritual self, the more expanded self. And again, it's 2 feet above the head. So keep that in mind, because I haven't really pulled this in before. The 8th chakra is 2 feet above your head. And what you can do is you can just take a moment. Let's take a moment, close your eyes, and focus about 2 feet above your head. Just focus there. See if you can feel that sphere. You should feel some tingling or some sensation in that area. This is the first chakra that isn't necessarily associated with the body. The first 7 chakras are associated with your endocrines, actual physical components. The 8th chakra, not so much. You could think of it as your celestial nervous system, but in general, it's not really associated with the physical body. So just tuning into that, you can get that tingling going. And sometimes I feel that more than tuning into other chakras. So it's right above the head. It's the 8th one. And now we're going to look at the Seiheki, because if we look at the symbols as a way of accessing, entering, and being in your spiritual presence inside your physical body. So the Seiheki, what I discovered one time, I was doing some paintings and I painted the Seiheki and I had put it up in my treatment room, and I put it next to an acupuncture meridian chart. And what I noticed is, here you can see on this picture the guy on the side of the head. I colored in purple, but that's a gallbladder meridian. See how the Seiheki has that V and then the 5 and then the arc? Well, if you look at that gallbladder meridian, you get a perfect V, you've got a 5, and then you have that arc. Now there's an extra line in there, but here, look what I do. If I trace here, 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 I go back up to the top, I still put that line in. So Seiheki is about clearing out the emotional mind. Seiheki is known to clear out the emotional mind, but most people don't realize what it exactly is. It's a tracing of a meridian. So my personal belief is Yushui actually went back and studied some ancient text and came across these symbols and put them together as a healing modality, because I don't believe that they just came to him in a flash of light. I think maybe meditating upon them he learned how to use them, but these symbols I think were established a long time ago, because it can't be coincidence that this Seiheki, which is supposed to clear the emotions and is colored purple, is right here on the gallbladder meridian, which is associated with clearing out the mind. It's right over the limbic brain. Limbic brain's right above the ears. That's the emotional brain. And the color purple with the third eye. That can't be any coincidence. And if you look at Seiheki, it means life. Sei means there's different, breaking up the syllables. Sei means life, birth, voice, focus, and clear up. Hei means bow. And Ki means spirit. So it's about clearing yourself up so you can bow to spirit and embody it. This little critter here is the sphenoid bone, kind of in a yellowish gold color. That sphenoid bone is, if you touch the first point of the gallbladder, you're touching that sphenoid bone. And if you have looked at my other videos, the sphenoid bone is without a shadow of doubt, in my mind, the Ark of the Covenant. And the pituitary, the one that's in charge of most of our hormone excretions, our other endocrines, and every endocrine is associated with the chakra, sets right inside of the sella turcica, which is called the Turkish saddle, this little bony structure that is the sphenoid. The pituitary sets in there. And basically it governs us. So we've got to get a hold of our own Ark of the Covenant within us. Another interesting thing, anatomy-wise, are the outer wings, or the outer parts of this sphenoid bone, are actually called the greater wings, and then the inside, it's a little harder to see, are called the lesser wings. That is the Ark of the Covenant without a shadow of a doubt. So what we do at the first symbol is we draw the Seiheki on the side of the head, and then we hold our heads, imagining light purifying, clearing out the mind. Because whenever they used to go into the Ark of the Covenant in Scripture, they would rub oils on themselves and cleanse themselves. So the first step is to cleanse ourselves, to clear ourselves so that we can actually go in and activate and use the Ark of the Covenant. The Seiheki helps you do that. And you can, I recommend you trace along this particular meridian. You can Google gallbladder meridian on the side of the head and see how that flows even better. But what you do is you imagine, I like to do 2 fingertips, my index and my middle. I imagine like purple light, or just light in general, is coming out of my fingertips, and basically I just run my fingertips along that meridian channel. And then I put my palms just above my ears on both sides of the head and clear out the temple, flush it out with light. Then the next symbol is Choku-rei. And it's really interesting, the symbol. I've come to learn that the Choku-rei, and all the stuff that I'm sharing with you, this other information about the symbols, I've never learned through anybody else through Reiki. I've gone through Reiki level 1 to master 4 different times with 4 different teachers, and I've never been taught this stuff with the symbols. It just comes from meditation, my own contemplation, an accident. So the Choku-rei is basically representing this energy. God comes in through the right brain, comes down through the Kundalini channel, and then spirals through the chakras to the heart. That's what the Choku-rei symbol represents. It also represents the Kundalini energy, that spiraling serpent. You can kind of see the head of a snake and then spiraling that rests at the base of the spine. So it's about activating that Kundalini energy and balancing all the chakras out. Another interesting thing is Cho from the Choku-rei means beginning, inception. Ku means mouth, journey, and Rei means ceremony, law. So it's like the Choku-rei represents the beginning light energy that is controlled by laws. And here you can see, this is Jesus' hand holding the Torah with the 7 seals. The Torah is actually, there is a toroidal field around your body. It's the shape of a donut. And the center of the Torah is called a torsion tube. And the torsion tube is like this hollow space that goes down the center of the body. And those 7 seals on the Torah, the toroidal field, you know, recognize how they sound a lot alike, the Torah, toroidal. Those 7 seals are the chakras. And Christ represents being in our heart, in the center. That's the only way. We got to be in a certain consciousness. When they say only Christ can open the 7 seals of the Torah, it means only in Christ consciousness, in a heart of love, acceptance, and expansion, can we open these chakras and access our complete spiritual power. So how we would draw that symbol is we can visualize it. We can visualize it being drawn over us, or we can actually do it. What I like to do is take my right hand, I extend my right hand palm facing my body as high up as I can to the right. And then I draw it in, and then I imagine I'm hitting the 8th chakra first. It's like I'm opening the 8th chakra, opening myself to spirit, and then I'm pulling the spirit down through the crown chakra, then the 3rd eye, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, 2nd chakra, root, and then I spiral it, because actually the bottom 3 chakras are masculine yang and the upper 3 are feminine. So when we spiral up, the root and the crown are yin and yang of each other. It's balancing them. Then we spiral solar plexus, the 2nd chakra to the 3rd eye, and we're balancing those because they're yin and yang of one another. Then we do solar plexus, our power, and then our voice, and then we end at the heart. That's key. It's coming back to the heart. So how we would do this so far is we would do the Seiheki. I'm drawing the energy into the Seiheki over my head, putting my palms over my head to clear out the temple, to prepare it. And then I draw the Choku-rei over my body, opening the 8th chakra as I come in from the right. And then I'm pulling that spirit down through my body, plugging it into my root, and then spiraling and balancing all the chakras. That's so far. That's just the basic 2. And if you're working with somebody else, all you're doing is you're tracing their Seihekis, clearing out their head, and then doing the Choku-rei over their body, opening up their 8th chakra and grounding it. So this can be done on yourself or another. The next symbol is the Hanshe-zei Shonin. And it's actually known for long distance, but it can also access the Akashic records. And I also believe it's the key to, or one of the keys to getting into altered dimensions or other possibilities of reality. So in other words, let's say you have an illness here, you can tap into another reality where you don't have that illness, pull that energy back into your body, and have a shift that way. Does that make sense? It's like you're accessing different dimensions to bring energy back to yourself. And if we break down the Han, Shei, Zai, Shonin, Han means book, Shei means left or beforehand, Zai means right, Shou means right, field, place, or beginning, and Nen means year, wish, idea, or thought. So the Han, Shan, Zai, Zai, Shonin means basically a book. There's left and right, and you can write in it with your own thoughts and feelings and change your reality. That's the cool thing. Change your reality. Because in essence, time is not linear. It loops. So if we change something in the past, that loop will then go into our future through our present now. There's only real one moment of time that has a reality to it. It's right now. And it passes every second. It's like you can't even hold on to it. Because as soon as I say now, it's already gone. So this moment here, if we can live here and change our past, the future is instantly changed also. And if you're right in this little space here, right in the center of time, you can look at the center of the word time. It's I am. It's I am. The only place in reality, in the world, in energy, that the I am truly resides is in the moment. And it's always passing. It's about being completely present. It's like Ram Dass saying, be here now. You've got to be here now to access all your power. So one thing that we can do with this Han, Shei, Zai, Zai, Shonin is access, going through the 8th chakra, access the Akashic records, access a past life, and write in our own Akashic record. And writing in your own Akashic record and changing the future doesn't mean that you have to sit there and visualize writing in a big ancient book. You could do that. But it's as simple as you observing the past in a different way. See, we're always writing in our Akashic record. We're always writing in our past and projecting into our future. Whenever we think about our past and we go over and over and over it, it's like opening the book, reading the story, and just drawing over the letters that are already there. Imagine how ingrained that gets, because there's really no physical book. It's an energy aspect, but you don't want to ingrain that energy. You go back and you change it with your views, your thoughts. And when you change things, then your future changes. You can also think about this 8th chakra as where ahas come from. It's like that expansive openness that's beyond you. Like you could be struggling with understanding something, not getting it, and then some expansive thing happens, or some kind of, just stumble on something, you go, oh, I see why that's there. Well, the 8th chakra is where that higher awareness comes from. It's like the doorway. And you can imagine that if you just look up above your head, imagine that there is a circle, and the circle is flat, like you're looking at a flat circle above your head. It's like a doorway. So what you would do is you would imagine looking up. Of course, if you're in a meditative state, you're not actually physically looking up, you're energetically looking up, imagining drawing the Han, Shei, Zai, Shonin over the 8th chakra and it opening up, and then imagine your energy going up through it and then visiting wherever you want to visit, whether it's the Akashic record, something in this life's past, or a past life thing, or another dimension, pulling an energy back in to heal something that's out of alignment. It's an infinite with which you can play with. So again, what you would do with that, if you're doing a session on yourself or another, is you do the Seiheki on yourself or the person, put your palms over the limbic brain, which is above the ears. Imagine it all being cleared out, the Ark of the Covenant, glowing gold. And then you do the Chokurei, starting at the right, going through the 8th chakra, opening spirit, pulling down into the body, spiraling, balancing the chakras. And then after you've done that, it'll take a while to do that. Then what you can imagine is going 2 feet above your head, or the person that you're working on head, and drawing the Han, Shei, Zai, Zai, Shonin. And then if you're doing it for yourself, you're going through. And if you're doing it for someone else, you go through there. And then you share what you see with the person that you're working on. But if it's yourself, of course, you're interacting with that. So as you go through there, you're just sharing what you're seeing with the client that you're working on. So here I have a picture of that, what that would kind of look like. Here you are meditating, and then you imagine your energy going up. Of course, this would be facing down at you. So it's like if you looked up, you would see the chakra, and then you'd write the Han, Shei, Zai, Zai, Shonin over it, and then it would open up, and you go through, and you just go with what you see. You go with what the visuals that you see in that, okay? So I'm going to regroup so far, so that we're all together as we go along. So I would sit calmly for a moment, draw the Seiheki with light coming from my fingers over the gallbladder meridian, hold my palms over my head, imagining light coming in and cleaning out my temple, my skull, my mind. I would then draw the Choku-rei, first coming from the right, because the right part of the brain is receptive. So the energy comes in from the right, accesses, opens the 8th chakra, pulling spirit down, then spiraling and balancing the lower masculine chakras to the upper feminine, coming back to the heart. And then let's say you want to access healing, or you want to go to the Akashic records, or you're working on someone else. In your heart, sitting in your heart, you set the intent. It's like, okay, I want to visit, whether it's the Akashic records or past life or another dimension. It's my intent. I'm just giving you an example. Coming from the heart, though, it's my intent to visit an altered dimension where I have healed this issue, so that I can pull back this energy into my body. Okay, you put that in your heart, and then what you do is you look up energetically. Imagine drawing the Han Shei Zei Shonin over the 8th chakra, it opening up, and then you imagine that intent, your energies inside your heart. It rises up through the center of your body and through that door, the 8th chakra, and then you just watch and see what happens. And then you come back with the information that you gathered, whether it's colors, visuals, pictures, emotions, whatever it is. You pull that back through your 8th chakra after you're done, closing it, sealing it up by erasing the symbol, and then pulling the energy back into your heart. Once the energy is back into your heart, you imagine the energy of what you brought back going into your physical heart, and that being carried through your blood to the entire body, which represents, from my perception, as I was guiding a meditation in group, it just kind of came out. It's like that's what's embodied, that's what pulls the energy and grounds it into the body, pulls this information, puts it into your blood, and then the blood takes it to every aspect, every cell, atom of your body. That's that part. And then the last symbol, the Daiku-myo, it's the great I am. And breaking down the word Daiku-myo, or the symbol, Dai means large, big, inside. Ko means little, child, small. And then Myo means myself, my son. So basically the symbol means the large, the big, myself, and not myself. It's like the space in between everything. It's where you are and where you aren't. It's when you're God and when you're an individual. So the last thing you can do after a session with the symbols, or on yourself after you've done all that, is imagine the Daiku-myo symbol being just drawn over your body, and you just resting in that space of almost existing but not existing. It's like the deep meditative state. They say that when you're really meditating, you're not even there to witness the meditation, which is pretty interesting. So when we're meditating and we're there and we feel and do things, you know, it's a level of meditation, but it's not that deep meditation. This Daiku-myo is like the deep meditation where for a moment you forget yourself. And the good thing about forgetting yourself for a moment is in forgetting yourself, things get reset. Because a lot of our problems come from reinforcement that comes from our mind. We're thinking we're the particular way, doing things a certain way. It's like our personality, our being, our body is mostly habits. Mostly mental, emotional, perceptions, judgments, beliefs, expectational habits. So most of us, most of our things that aren't really us, we call us, we think as us, are habits. And when we can get to that state where we're not us and we're not anything else, that space in between, it's like the word namaste. Namaste means that when I'm in that place in me and you are in that place in you, there is only one. It's like that razor's edge where I'm an individual, but I'm also a part of everything else. And we fluctuate in and out of that through our daily life. Sometimes we're simply us, and sometimes we see that we're something more. But you want to reside right in that crack. It's like right in that I am space, that crack of time where all there is the frozen moment, eternity. That's where eternity lives, in that space of being and not being. So after you've done all that and then gone into the space of being and not being, it's like a major reset. It's like turning off your computer. It forgets who it is. And when sometimes you have a computer problem and you're like, okay, my computer's crazy, it's getting froze up, it's getting stuck. You just simply turn it off, you unplug it, plug it back in, and miraculously, in most cases, it's like it's got its senses back. That's what we need sometimes. We need a complete reset. So think of the Daikuo as visiting source, but still being you at the same time. It's almost like elongating your body for eternity out in all directions, but not losing touch with who you are. It's like a reset, turning the computer off and then turning it back on. So by using these 4 symbols in these 4 ways, whether it's simply on yourself or on someone else, can be extremely powerful. And I recommend that you try playing with this and experimenting with this. And if you have any questions, feel free to text me or post on here on YouTube. Peace out. Love you.